This is the book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 1. The one of the seven angels who had the seven bowls came to me and said, "Come, and I will show you how the famous prostitute is to be punished, that great city that is built near many rivers." I like to give all praises and glory and honor to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. I like to give praises and honor and glory to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the men of GMS who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is Brother Boaz on the set once again. Now, today's subject is going to be going into Babylon the Great, America, how it's going to be destroyed, and basically how the Israelites are going to get the kingdom again, and how the so-called white man is going to get eradicated. That's what today's lesson is going to go into today. Okay, this lesson is a very important topic. So if you got a pen and paper, jot these scriptures down so you could get it for yourself. Okay, so let's get into the lesson. The book of Revelation, chapter 17, verse 2. The kings of the earth practiced sexual immorality with her, and the people of the world became drunk from her drinking the wine of her immorality. Okay. And Yahushua is the one who has a golden cup in his hand that had made all these nations drunk. It's Yahushua. Let's get it. It's Yahweh. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 7. Babylonia has been a golden cup in my hand, making the whole world drunk. The nations drank from its wine and went out of their minds. So Yahushua has put the wine of Babylon on all these other nations, and they have drinking from the cup. Okay, now the cup they have to drink from now is slavery. Okay, this is a point where America is not going to go anymore. Okay, America has hit its point. Okay, now you looking forward to the fall of Babylon now. Okay, is America's not going to be basically standing any much more longer. Okay, so that's what this subject is going to go into. Okay, America's not going to be standing much more longer. The cup is about to be passed to America. Okay, let's get it. Turn to the book of Jeremiah. Okay, the book of Jeremiah. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 25, verse 15. Yahweh, the power of Israel, said to me, "Here is the wine cup of my anger, to take it to the nations to whom I send you, and make them drink from it. When they drink from it, they shall stagger and go out of their minds because of the war I am sending against you." In America, once they go to the land of Jehoshaphat, that's going to be their end. Okay, once they go to the Bible calls it Armageddon. Okay, once and we at the prelude stage of Armageddon. Okay, you seeing Trump sending troops over there. You have Iran is already over there, and Russia's going to jump in, and China. That's World War III. Okay, when you see that, that's when Yahweh Shai is going to basically bring this man down. Okay, he's not going to make it out of World War III. Okay, he's going to get eradicated. Okay, this is a time where you have to basically, once again, you heard me say this on various different lessons. You have to come back to Yahweh Shai. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 25, verse 17. So I took the cup from Yahweh's hand and gave it to all the nations to whom Yahweh has sent me, has sent me, and made them drink from it. Jerusalem and all of its towns of Judah together with its king. So we drunk of the cup, okay? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, we already drunk of the cup and were made to drink from it so that they would become a desert, a terrible and shocking sight, as so that the people would use their names as a curse, as they still do. Okay, we're coming from underneath our punishment. Okay, and we're gonna take the throne and take rulership. Okay, underneath Yahweh Shai. Okay, when he gets here. Here is the list of all the others who have drank from the cup. The king of Egypt and his officials, the leaders, and all of the Egyptians and all the foreign Egyptians, the king of the land of Uz, and all the kings of Palestine, the cities of Ekron, Gaza, Ekron, and the remaining coast of Ashdod. Okay, so all nations are going to drink of this cup, okay? The book of Revelations. The book of Revelations. The book of Revelations, chapter 17, verse 5. On her forehead was written a name that was a secret meaning: Great Babylon, the mother of all prostitutes and perverts in the world. So America is the mother of all harlots in the world. Okay, you see all the prostitution he's here in America, all the perverts, okay, all the gay, all you see, they fight for the gay right, they legalize gay marriage. All the perverts are here in America. So the mystery Babylon is America. Verse 6, and I saw the woman who has drunk with the blood of Yahweh's people and the people of those who were killed because they have been loyal to Yahweh Shai, okay? So it's going to be a point where this devil is going to go outright and start killing the disciples, okay? It happened before and it's going to happen again, okay? Because this truth is getting to them, okay? It's going to come a point in time where you might have to die for this truth, okay? You have to brace your mind for that, okay? For that transaction, okay? Because it's going to come to pass. Verse 13, these 10 all have the same purpose, and they give their power and authority to the beast. The new world order, okay? So all the EU nations, they give their power to the beast, America, for 1 hour, okay? That 1 hour, that symbolizes the new world order. They will fight against the Lamb, but the Lamb, together with his chosen and faithful followers, will defeat them, because he is the Lord of lords and King of kings. So when Yahweh Shai gets here, he's going to defeat America. He's going to destroy it. Okay? And then the remainder of people that's left, they're going to be eradicated and put straight into slavery, the people that are left. Okay? Verse 15, Revelation chapter 17, verse 15. The angel also said to me, the waters you saw on which the prostitute sits are nations, people, races, and language. That's America, that so-called melting pot, okay? That's America, okay? That's clues that the Bible's giving you. Who is this great prostitute, okay? It's America. Verse verse 16, the 10 horns you saw and the beast will hate the prostitute. They will take everything that she has to leave her naked. They will eat her flesh, and they shall destroy her with fire. Okay, so the what's going to happen is the EU is going to turn on America. So, okay, you see them about to turn on America now. Okay, it's Israel and America fighting this war. You don't see the EU powers jumping in. Okay, they're going to turn on America, and they're going to shoot missiles on this place. And the only way you're going to make it is you have to be beamed it up in a UFO. Okay, so you can make it out of here with your life. Turn to the book of Turn to the book of Revelations, chapter 11, verse 12. Then the two prophets heard a loud voice saying to them from heaven, "Come up here." As their enemies watched, they went up into the heavens into a cloud. Okay, so you're going to have to be beamed it up on some wheels. The Bible calls them wheels inside wheels, or the chariots. Okay, chariots of Israel. Okay, and only the people that's going to make it out with their life are the 144,000 and the elect chosen men and women and children to make it out with their life that's been sanctioned from the foundation of the world. The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him, and make no account of his labor. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. The strangeness, and you never seen a UFO beam anybody up. Okay, no one ever seen that. Okay, so they're gonna be in trouble. They're gonna say, These are the Israelites? These Negroes I had in slavery. These niggas I've been calling niggas, spicks, wetbacks. Okay, these niggas are the ones that are the true chosen Jews. That's what this is about. Okay, they're gonna see it. Okay, and simultaneously you're gonna see the nuclear weapons being detonated over America. Okay, the Bible calls it the besom of destruction. The Bible calls it the besom of destruction. Okay, which is going to eradicate everything in its path. And the strangeness of his salvation so far beyond that they look for. Okay, so that's what this is about. Okay, America is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. Okay, one moment. The book of Revelations, chapter 20, verse 12. And I saw the dead, great and small alike, standing before the throne. Books was open, and then another book was open, the book of the living. The dead were judged according to what they had done, as recorded in the books. Okay, so no one gets away. Okay, no one. It's all reincarnated. Okay, no one gets away. Okay, so whatever wickedness someone did to you, or whatever wickedness that someone did to you, once again, no one escapes. Okay, it may look like it escapes, but no, sentence from a crime does not get executed speedily. The hearts of sons of men are multiply in them. Okay, I believe that's the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 8, verse 11. Okay, that's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 8, verse 11. Verse 14. Then death and the world of the dead were thrown into the lake of fire. This lake of fire is the second death. Thermonuclear destruction is the second death. Thermonuclear destruction, totally annihilating in America and eradicating it, and the remainder of the populace, they're going to go as slaves. Okay? Those who did not have their names written in the book of the living was thrown into the lake of fire. So if you don't have your name written in the Lamb's book of life, okay, if your name's not there as a chosen elect, and I pray that I'm there, you're not going to make it out with your life when this thing goes down, okay? Most likely you're going to take the mark of the beast, okay? Most likely you're going to take the mark of the beast. The book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 20. The beast was taken as prisoner together with the false prophet, the Pope, who had performed miracles in the presence. It was by those miracles that he had deceived those who had the mark of the beast and those who had worshipped the image of the beast. The beast and the false prophet was both thrown alive into the lake of fire that burns with sulfur. Okay, so anyone that basically that takes a mark of the beast, okay, you're going to get thrown alive in a lake of fire. Okay, you're going to disintegrate. Okay, you're going to be like Shaft. Okay, anyone that takes a mark of the beast, okay, that got deceived, you're going to get eradicated. Okay, but they're going to put a lot of pressure on people. Okay, they're going to put a lot of pressure on people to take that demonic device. Okay, that's why the Bible says you have to lose your life in order for you to gain your life. Okay, if you want to make it out with your life, you have to lose your life. Let's get it. The book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 11. They won the victory over him by the blood of the Lamb and by the truth that they proclaimed, and they were willing to give up their lives and die. Okay, you have to give your life up in order to make it out of here with your life. Okay, that's what this is about. Okay, and all the prophets are prophesizing the same thing: a destruction, a nuclear strike on America, and destruction and slavery. They just worded it in a different way. The book of Daniel is saying the same thing that the book of Revelation is saying. The book of Ezekiel is saying the same thing. Okay, all the prophets are prophesizing. They see America. That's why it says the land was like the Garden of Eden before them. Okay, the book of Joel. We get the scripture. The land was like the Garden of Eden before them, but behind them was a desolate wasteland, okay? Eradication, okay? Obliterated, okay? Totally annihilated, okay? That's what this is about, okay? That's why it says the judgment on Esau, Edom, the missiles upon Idumea, okay, which is Edom, Esau. It's all the same thing, okay? It's saying the same thing. The book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 1. After this, I saw another angel coming down out of heaven. He had great authority, and his splendor was a brightness as the whole earth. He cried out in a loud voice, "She has fallen. Great Babylon has fallen. She is now haunted by demons and unclean spirits, and all kinds of filthy and hateful birds live in her. For all nations have drunk, once again, all nations have drunk her wine, the strong wine of her immoral lusts. Okay, so all nations have drunk from her wine. Okay, all nations have drunk from her wine. Okay, which is at the in the hands of Yahweh Yahushai. Okay, driving the whole nations mad. Okay, that's why all nations, they want to be like America. Okay, but they don't know that America is going to get totally obliterated. Okay, it's going to get obliterated here. It's going to be just like Sodom and Gomorrah. Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. Then I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, come out of her. You must not take part in her sins. You must not share in her punishment. For her sins has been piled up as high as heaven, and Yahweh remembers her wicked ways. Treat her exactly as she has treated you, slavery. Pay her back double for what all she have done. Fill her cup with a cup is twice as strong as the drink as she prepared for you. Give her as much suffering as and grief as the glory and luxury and gave herself. For she keep telling herself, here I sit a queen, am in no widow. I will never know grief. See, America, it's like a version, okay? It's never been popped, if you will, okay? America thinks that it's going to last forever, okay? America, since it's got its high skyscrapers and its missile technology, America thinks that it's not going to be ever destroyed, okay? But America's going to get annihilated, okay? It's going to be destroyed, okay? There's nothing going to be here in America. It's going to be totally desolate. Verse 8, because it is the one, because of this one day she has been struck with plagues, okay? What plagues? Thermonuclear destruction, once again, okay? Thermonuclear destruction, annihilating this place. Disease and famine, and she will be burnt with fire because of Yahweh power, who judges her is mighty. Okay, Yahweh power is the one that's going to judge her, is mighty and strong. Okay, he's going to destroy this place. Okay, and these so-called white people that you see, you're going to be like, man, you're going to look at them like, man, this is a so-called white man. That's how of a fall they're going to be. You're going to be shocked in the kingdom. Okay, they're going to they're going to be like, you see them on the street corners. Okay, they're gonna be straight bombs in the kingdom. You're gonna be like, man, these are so-called white people. You're gonna be shocked in that day. Okay, they're gonna be all taken as slaves. That's why he says, I took captivity. Okay, I gave gifts to men. Okay, that's why he says that. Okay, the kings of the earth who took part in her immorality and lust and cry and weep over the city when they see her smoke from her flames that are consumed her. They will stand a long way off because they are afraid of sharing in her suffering, okay? Because other nations are going to be so shocked that America's destroyed, okay? They're going to be, they're not going to want nothing to do with America, okay? Because they're going to see the nuclear bombs being detonated, or they're going to be scared. They say, how terrible, how awful this great and mighty city, Babylon. In 1 hour, you have been punished. Okay, so it's only going to take you Yahushai 1 hour, okay, to totally obliterate this place, okay, and destroy it, okay. This is a time to clean up your life and get put right back with Yahweh Shai through his son, Yahweh Shai. Okay, this is a time to get put right back with Yahweh Shai. Okay, And so you don't partake of this judgment and drink of this cup that's coming. Okay, this thermonuclear destruction. Okay, let's turn to the book of Jeremiah. The book of Jeremiah. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 25, verse 11. This whole land will be left in ruins and will be shocking sight, and the neighbors nations will serve the king of Babylon for 70 years. So the 70 years is up. Okay, all the nations have basically have served America for the last X amount of years. Okay, now the weak are saying I'm strong. Okay, after that I will punish the Babylonia and its kings for their sins. I will destroy their country and leave it in ruins forever. I will punish Babylonia with all the disasters that I've threatened to bring on the nation, and I will. When I spoke through Jeremiah all the disaster recorded in this book, I will pay the Babylonians back for what they have done, and many nations and great kings will make slaves of them. Okay, once again, a reference to slavery. All the other nations, starting with the so called white man, is going to get put straight into slavery. Okay, that's his future. Shackles, slavery. Okay. The book of Yoel, chapter 3, verse 12. The nations must get ready to come to the valley of judgment. There I, Yahweh, will sit to judge all the surrounding nations. Thousands, verse 14, thousands and thousands are in the valley of judgment. It is there will the day of Yahweh will soon come, okay? It's going to soon come, okay? It's going to be a day like no other day, okay? Is the Bible's prophesizing a thermonuclear strike, nuclear technology. That's what the Bible's prophesying. They're going to destroy themselves. The sun and the moon will grow dark, and the stars will no longer shine. Yahweh roars from Mount Zion, his voice from the Jerusalem. The earth and the skies tremble, but he will defend his people. The book of Yoel, chapter 2, verse 1. Blow the trumpet and sound the alarm on Zion, Yahweh's sacred hill. Tremble, people of Judah. The day of Yahweh is soon, okay? The day of Yahweh is the day when the so called white man falls out of rulership and power. Okay, and the Bible is saying it in just different ways in various different texts. Okay, the day of Yahweh is when the white man finally loses power over the earth. Tremble, people of Judah, the day of Yahweh is coming soon. It will be A dark and gloomy day, a black and cloudy day, the great army of locusts advances, that's the thermonuclear weapons, and like darkness spreading over the mountains, there would never been anything like it, and there would never be it again. Like fire eat up the plants in front of them. The land looks like the Garden of Eden. So in front of them, everything's beautiful and intact. In front of them, the land looks like the Garden of Eden, but behind them, it is a barren desert. Nothing escapes them, okay? Nothing's going to escape them, okay? Nothing. Nothing's going to escape them. The book of Let's start at verse 1. The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 1. Come, people of all nations, gather around and listen. Let the whole earth and everyone living on it come here and listen. Yahweh is angry with all nations and with all their armies. He has condemned them to destruction. Their corpses will be buried, but their corpses will not be buried, but will lie there rotting and stinking, and the mountains will be red with their blood. The sun and moon and stars will crumble to dust. The sky will disappear like a scroll being rolled up, and the stars shall fall like leaves dropping from a vine or a fig tree. Okay, so Isaiah is saying the same thing. A thermonuclear strike hit, and the whole clouds, the sky rolled up like a scroll. It rolled up like a scroll. Isaiah is saying the same thing, okay, that John is saying in the book of Revelation. It's the same exactly thing, a nuclear strike. Yahweh has prepared his sword in heaven. This is verse 5. Yahweh has prepared his sword in heaven, and now it strikes Edom, the people whom Yahweh has condemned to destruction. Okay, that's a so-called white man. Okay, the people that he condemned to destruction. His sword will be covered with their blood and fat, the fat of lambs and of goats that sacrifice. Yahweh offers a sacrifice in the city of Bozrah. He will make a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Okay, it's going to be the land of Idumea. Okay, so they're going to destroy themselves. That's how this going down. And when the dust settles, they're going to get put right into slavery. Let's see over here. The book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 21. The wicked will kill the wicked. You see that? The wicked will kill the wicked. Those who hate the righteous will be punished. Okay? Yahweh will save his people. Those who go to him for protection will be spared. Okay, so that's why it says the name of Yahweh Shai, is a great tower. The righteousness, the righteous run into it and are safe. Okay, that's what this is about. Okay, that's why he says, I took captivity captive. Okay, I gave gifts to men. Turn to the book of Psalms. I believe that's 68. Where he says, Psalm 68, verse 18. He goes up to the heights, taking many captives with him. He receives gifts from rebellious people. Yahweh power will live there, okay? So he's going to get many captives, okay? And all nations are going to have to bring their wealth and daughters to us, okay? Keeping our concubines harems filled with their daughters and a wealth gold and silver and all the other precious stones. Okay, they have to pay up every day. Okay, the gates are always going to be open. Okay, the nations have to bring all their wealth to us. Okay, the kingdom of heaven is worth waiting for. Okay, it's worth, like Elder Gad said, it's worth dying for, okay? The kingdom of heaven, what Yahweh got in store for us, okay? But we have to go through these tribulations. Like we discussed on numerous occasions, you have to go through your setbacks and through many tribulations. We're going to enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. Let's go to Acts 14, verse 22. The book of Acts, chapter 14, verse 22. After removing, that's Salaki, that's 1322, 1422. They strengthened the believers and encouraged them to remain true to the faith. We must pass through many troubles to enter the kingdom of Yahweh, they taught. Okay, so through many troubles, okay? And you heard me say this before, out of all the camps, the Israelite groups and the movement, if you will, those men of GMS, they have it. They did it. They cracked the riddle. They have it 100% of the doctrine intact, okay? There's no question that they left unanswered, okay? They're telling you who the Israelites are, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, okay? They're telling you who the white man is. It's Esau. They're telling you how America's going to be destroyed and eradicated, okay? They have the 100% truth, okay? Yahweh left it with them. And I suggest you go on their pages, start doing you some research and studying so you can make it out with your life when this thing goes down, okay? That's what this is about, okay? If you're concerned with your life, okay? Because this thing is going down. We don't have much more time. Time is of the essence. Satan comes down with great wrath because he knows he has but a short time. The book of Revelations. The book of Revelations, chapter, I'll go with 12, verse 12, then I'll jump to 7. The book of Revelations, 12, verse 12. And so be glad, you heavens, were the heavens, and all you that dwell there. But how terrible for the earth and for the sea! For the devil has come down unto you, RFID chip, microchip, New World Order, has come down to you, and he is filled with rage because he knows he only has a little time left. Okay, the devil's got a little bit of time. What we're doing is we're pressuring this man. Every video we do is pressuring this man to make his move. Okay, we're sending up these epistles. Every epistle that we send off, we're pressuring this man, just go ahead and do the chip, okay? We know you got it, okay? Go ahead, do your 9/11 event, okay? Your shock and all, okay? The dialect is what they call it, okay? They come out with the crisis, then they have the conclusion for you, okay? That's the same thing like they did with the COVID-19, okay? That's how they're gonna do it, but with great more pressure, okay? That's why the Bible said once again, love not your life unto death. Okay, you're not going to make it in the kingdom of heaven holding, trying to hold on to your wealth, trying to hold on to your vehicle, trying to hold on to your job. You're not going to make it to the kingdom of heaven. If you want to make it to the kingdom of heaven, Christ is saying you have to give everything up. So Salakia, Mashiach, okay? As for Christ, you have to give up everything, okay? If you want to make it to heaven, okay? If you want to make it to see this kingdom of heaven, okay? You have to give up your life. You have to give up your family, okay? You have to give up your job, everything you have to give up if you want to make it out with your life. The book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 7. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. It fought back at his angels. But the dragon was defeated, and he and his angels were not allowed to stay in heaven any longer. So once again, so the heavens here is talking about rulership or and power, okay? The so-called white man fought, okay, the Michael, okay, and all the other archangels, they fought the angels and they lost power. They fell out of power. They lost rulership. That's what it's talking about. The so-called white man falling out of rulership. And he and his angels were not allowed to stay in heaven any longer, so they lost their power. The huge dragon that was thrown out, that ancient serpent, the so-called white man, named the devil or Satan, that deceived the whole world. Okay, how we deceived the whole world? He got you saying that you are Black American. How we deceived the whole world? He got you saying that you are Cuban. He got you saying that I'm a Native American Indian. Okay, he's got you deceived. Okay. He's deceiving you with the RFID chip, okay? He's going to go for his mark of the beast. And that deceived the whole world. He was thrown down the earth and all his angels with him, okay? He was thrown out with all his angels with him, okay? They once again, they lost rulership and power. Verse 10. Then I heard a loud voice in the heaven saying, now Yahweh's salvation has come. Now Yahweh has shown his power as king. Now his Messiah showed his authority. For the one who stood before our power and accused believers day and night has been thrown out and has been thrown out of heaven. They lost power. They lost rulership. Okay. Okay, so the 144,000, the book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 1. Then I looked, and there was a lamb standing on Mount Zion. That's Mashiach, or Christ. With him was 144,000 people who have his name of his father's name written on their foreheads. Okay, they had the name of the father written on their foreheads. Okay, once again, we have to, how are people saying we don't have the name and the Bible saying they have the name written on their foreheads? Okay, it's a game. It's a game. You have the name. Okay, GMS have that. They're the only group promoting Yahweh Shai. They're the only group that's promoting those names very heavy. Okay, in their lessons. It's a game. How are you saying that you're gonna make it out of here with your life if you don't have the name? Okay, it's the name. Okay, it's 90% of the doctrine. It's the name. So how are you gonna make it out of here with your life if you saying that you don't have the name? It's a game. Okay, we have the names. Okay, we already know the names. Okay, I will repeat the names again. The name of the supreme God is Yahweh. That's a God of God, Lord of all worlds. Then you have His Son, the only begotten Son is Yahweh Shai, whom without Him there's no other name underneath heaven by men shall be saved. It's Yahweh Shai, okay? And without that, you won't make it out with your life if this when this thing goes down, okay? A thermonuclear strike hit in America, and America's going to shoot off their missiles at the other nations as well, okay? Mainly Russia. Okay, so let's turn to the book of Second Ezra, chapter 2, verse 38. Rise up and stand. Behold, the number of those who sealed the feast of Yahweh, which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of the Lord. Take thou number of Zion, shut up those that are thus clothed with white, which has fulfilled the law of Yahweh. The number of the children whom thou hast longest for is fulfilled. Bespeaks the power of the Lord, that the people which have been called and from the beginning may be hallowed. I, Ezra, saw upon Mount Zion a great people whom I would not number, and they are all praising Yahweh with songs. In the midst of them was a young man of a high stature, taller than the rest, and upon every one of their heads was set crowns and more exalted, which I marvel greatly. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? He answers and said unto them, These be they that have put off mortal clothes and have put on immortality and have confessed the name of Yahweh, and are they that are crowned to receive psalms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is that crowns them and gives them palms in their hands? So I answered and said, so he answered me and said unto me, It is the Son of Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. Then that I greatly commended them who stood so stiffly for the name of Yahweh. Then I said unto the angel, Go thou way. Then the angel said unto me, Go thou way, and tell the people what manner of things and how great wonders Yahweh thy power has, which ye have seen. Okay, so it's the name. It's the name. Okay, it all, the bug starts with the name. Okay, that's what this is about. Okay, if they're sitting up there telling you, okay, the name don't count, and why you gotta call him by his name? Okay, why you gotta call him by his name, and the name don't count? They're lying to you. They're false prophets. Okay, get away from them. Okay. Get away from them, to do a 180 on them, okay? The name is that will make it count, okay? The name is where it's at, okay? If you don't have those names, you won't make it out with your life, okay? Because you have to call upon his name if you want to make it out of here. Let's get it. The book of Acts, chapter 2, verse 21. And then whosoever calls out on the to Yahweh for help will be saved. Okay, so whoever calls out for Yahweh Shai will be saved. Okay, that's what this is about. Okay, so if you don't want to get eradicated, okay, if you don't want to get eradicated, okay, and obliterated, okay, this thing is going down. This this place is ready for the mark of the beast. Okay, they're gonna come out any day now. Our time is ended. The book of Revelations. All righty, one moment. The book of Revelations, chapter 11, verse 13. At that very moment, there was a violent earthquake. A tenth of the city was destroyed, and 7,000 people was killed. That's a perfect amount of people was killed. The rest of the people was terrified and praised the greatness of the power of heaven. Okay, so once again, a nuclear strike hit America, struck America, breaking it into 10 parts, okay? Breaking America up, okay? A nuclear strike, okay? Hitting this place, okay? That's what this thing is all about. Okay, and you once again you have to go to the men of GMS. Once again, you heard me say this again, and I'm gonna say it again. They have it, they did it, and they cracked the riddle. They did it. Okay, starting with the chief men, Apostle Tahar on down. Okay, they did it. They cracked the riddle. Okay, it started with REI. Okay, Jacob, King Marshall. Okay, those men, okay, taught other men, and this truth went out ever since, okay? Okay, one moment. Okay, let's get it. The book of Revelations, chapter 18. Chapter 18, chapter 16. The book of Revelation, chapter 16, verse 15. Listen, I'm coming like a thief. Happy is he who stays awake and guards his clothes, so that no one will walk around, so he will not walk around naked and be ashamed in public. Okay, you have to have your garment. Okay, this garment is his truth. Okay, the garment and the oil is his truth. Okay, you have to have the arm. You have to have your garment on. Okay, It's all starting to look like World War III. Okay, and that's when this devil's gonna meet his end. He won't make it out of World War III. Not with his life. Okay, the kingdom of heaven will be established in World War III, which the Bible's calling that Armageddon. Okay, the book of Revelations. We're still in the book of Revelations. Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second horror is over, but the third horror will come soon. Okay, so the third World War is going to come soon. Okay, it's going to happen fast. Okay, they're going to do a draft. They're going to draft you Americans over. They ain't going to send you to die over there. Okay, they're going to send you over there to basically get slaughtered. Okay, the Persians, to my understanding, they never been conquered. Okay, the Persians, that's modern Iran, okay? They never been, that's why America is having such a problem with them, okay? They got missile technology too, okay? They got drones too. They dropping missiles on America, okay? And once again, all the other countries are going to get sick of America and drop missiles on this place, okay? Like you heard me in this study, and they're going to eradicate this place. And the survivors are the ones who have the name, the 144,000. The book of Revelation, chapter 14, verse 1. Then I looked and saw Slovakia. Then I looked, and there was a lamb standing on Mount Zion with them a 144,000 people who has the names of his fathers' names written on their foreheads. Okay, so once again, how are you saying that you don't have the names and the names are written on the forehead? It's in a person's brain. Okay, that's a metaphor. Okay, verse 3. The 144,000 people stood before the throne, and the living creatures and the elders, and were singing a new song, and only they could learn of the whole human race. They are the only ones who have been redeemed. Okay, so the only ones that have been redeemed, the only one that have this doctrine. Okay, this doctrine is a precious thing. Okay, this doctrine is the down payment for you to make it out with your life if you concerned about making it out of here with your life. Okay, it's this doctrine. Without this doctrine, you won't make it out with your life. Okay, you have to be reincarnated, come back after 1,000 years, okay, and be reborn as a child. And so hopefully you was well edified. Hopefully this study answers a lot of your questions. I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Almighty Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.